Hello everyone. Fatty from Pack a Punch Traders here. Gonna go over my trade of the day and just overall how the day went. Some lessons on some trades or tickers, as well as going over the top plays for tomorrow. So let's go over one play that I was really excited for today. KPRX that just did not shape up. No volume came through. No demand propped us up, and it just continued lower. So not great to see, but it's having this weird. In 1 minute, it went from 510 to 620. I find that really hard to believe. It might be a glitch. I wasn't paying attention. I was making my watch list while this happened. So we'll see how this shapes up for tomorrow. This could be some solid bottoming action here that can trigger the bounce. So we'll keep this on watch for the bounce play for tomorrow. But there wasn't really much today. There was, out of the watch list at least, there was XPawn, which we were talking about. If volume does not come through, even though it is a low float, if it doesn't have any um, significant volume, considering recently it has all this baggage going on, and now that after a strong push, volume keeps fading, really a sign of topping action, as well as you can see the past couple of days, very choppy move compared to that day one squeeze. So this is really what I expect out of low volume breakouts. It had a minute where it really took off, and then if you weren't in it at that point, it didn't offer any other move. So I am ignoring this now, but a good lesson on how important demand is. So that was an ignore, but BWV popped up on the scanner this morning. I was looking at it for an open price VWAP per claim, because if we go on the daily chart as well here, we have key levels that have been broken for a couple months here now. So around 138 as well as 149, 148. So you kind of got pattern stacked, which in my opinion makes it even stronger play. I got the open price VWAP per claim as well as the breakout um, setting up here. If it fails to break down with a lower float like this, doing the volume it did, it makes sense that this ended up squeezing. So let me go intraday here. Was looking at it early on, but it felt as though I was chasing in the 160s, since the ideal entry for me really was in the 140s, low 150s. So this was an ignore at first. But then I noticed that it failed to break down. It couldn't push new lows, held open price, and from there it started grinding back higher. And volume was really strong it was very strong today. And even in the moment, it was definitely noticeable how significant the volume was compared to its past. History of moving here, as you can see, did need a lot of volume. So I was thinking this high demand day with failure to break down, uptrending, confirmation of key areas, open price, 150, as well as that breakout right there. So wrapped up with that key level psychologically, whole dollar, half dollar area. So I started getting really interested when it confirms VWAP and continues this uptrend. So I got a small position in 160, 161. I forgot exactly what it was. Um, but ended up getting stuffed. Not much volume coming through. And then I saw how it was dipping, making a higher low, and there really wasn't any selling pressure. If you can see down here, not a whole ton pushing this thing lower. So when I saw this double bottom and it started curling back a little bit, I slapped it with some decent size. Ended up having 2,000 shares at 159 average. So very nice risk reward, as I would have been out if it cracked VWAP for 5 cents loss here, and was looking for a test of the 180s. And the reason I was looking for 180s is on the daily chart here. That's the first key area that the play might have a hard time breaking past. After that, it is in the low twos. I was considering aiming for the low twos at first, but I felt as I was that was gonna be greedy of me. So just take my quick 10 to 15%, as I always say, and just let them add up. Ended up going with that plan, as I didn't like the way this broke over the 170-day high, considering the volume it had, the float, the way it's failed to break down. I was thinking when it breaks through, we should get a pretty strong rip. But I was a bit impatient, and I didn't like that. What could have been a little fake out, it didn't have a strong push. So in my eyes, it seemed a little suspicious. So I ended up just taking my quick gains at 174 while I was chopping around here between 172, 176. So not bad, just under 9.5%. It's like 9.4. About what was it? $300 on the day. Not bad at all. All within about an hour. So not bad of a trade. Just wish I would have sold in pieces. That's one thing I've mentioned I want to start doing more of. But emotions, it really just gets to me. I see that I'm up. I imagine if this thing comes back down, I would be pissed. So I sell it while I'm up. And that's not a bad strategy at all. But could just sell a little bit and see how it holds up, because if it continues to hold up, as you can see, it can squeeze even higher. So ended up getting to 195, about 12% from where I was selling. Left a bit on the table there, but good lesson. But at the same time, not that mad about it, because I was up around 10%. It was jumping into the 170s, close to the 180s resistance, where it could have a hard time, and I don't want to be there for any nasty failure. As well as it had a hard time really bursting past the morning high at 170, 171, which in my eyes it really should have got pretty vertical there. But I had broken expectations, and all that combined, I just ended up selling it for a quick snipe. So solid gain on the day, considering I didn't really see much today on the scanner. That was too exciting. AMST was up big pre-market, but it was up on Chat GPT news, and I just didn't think that was strong enough for warrant the move that it has. Went from 30 cents to 75 cents all pre-market. Absolutely insane. Um, if it had any stronger AI news, something that they created, they have a patent on, any IP, that would be a lot better. But just didn't see that this play was worth it. It was up a lot, so decided to put my attention elsewhere, and that paid off. Selling really came through here. Never saw 75 cents. Just quick perk in the morning, and that was it. So pretty happy with today. One more lesson. HPCO. Here we are with a multi-day bounce. This one I have been ignoring due to the offering it had. And just like EBET, I stayed away from this one, and it ended up having a pretty decent move. It was after hours squeeze, but nonetheless, the bounce is able to form. And just something to keep in mind, something maybe I'll start tracking again how the bounce works out with bad news. Excuse me. Maybe it just takes more time. I just haven't really tracked it. So just something to look at. Maybe next time you look for a multi-day bounce and it has bad news, just keep in mind it can work. I personally, as of now, just don't think the odds are in my favor to trade that way. But I'll track it, and if data proves otherwise, we'll adapt to it. So just wanted to go over that, as well as there was another play that I wanted to go over. Completely forgot. Here's KPRX getting shut down after that solid move. What happened? Was there news? Um, yeah, looks like it. Huh, interesting. This is also, back to the multi-day bounce. Why you stay away and don't try to time the bottom out. You don't know how low it can go when it does show some bottoming action. If it doesn't have confirmation of that price action and demand starts picking up, it can easily keep pushing lower, as you can see. So, good lesson here on being patient with the multi-day bounce and attacking it when the chart looks familiar and setting up for the bounce. But as of now, we'll just wait and see how this sets up tomorrow. Could have sworn there was something I wanted to go over. Damn it. Whatever. Okay. Don't want to make this video way too long. So let's just get on to the top plays for tomorrow. One of which will be VLON, recent spiker. It is going to load. What happened? There we go. Alright, so here we got a recent push all the way from 30 cents to 120 over 2 days, and now it's cooling off. As usual, let it fade as much as it needs to. We're looking for at least the first red day to be there, so it sets up where shorts have confidence in the move, they're in control, and they're going to be the fuel for the bounce when they start locking in profits when it starts failing to push lower. So now that we have a red day, decently off the highs now, keep it on watch for a multi-day bounce. And then we got KPRX as well, multi-day bounce, as we just went over. Same deal with SQL, bottoming out here today. Not much action, but at the same time, not really pushing lower, holding around a key level psychologically, whole dollar, half dollar level of 1. Way off the highs in the low twos, could be due for a bounce. I went over how I don't typically like to trade plays like this, but I do notice that they can offer a second solid bounce play where the first bounce that we look for ends up squeezing so much that ends up bringing in a whole bunch of new sellers and short sellers into the play and could set up for the same psychology with the pattern for the multi-day bounce. So we'll keep this on watch as well for the bounce play. And lastly, BOXL. Nice first green day today. Higher float, but it is also a cheaper play. So strong volume today. We'll see if it can keep coming in and failing to break down. It has a breakout at 51 cents, it looks like today, 52-ish. And strong burst to the high 50s. And let me get to the chart. And completely failed to break down. It has this wide range from 58 to about 48. And right now it's failing to break down, closed near the high a day. If it continues to fail to break down, confirms the 59 area, 60-cent area as support, and demand keeps coming in. I don't see why this can't squeeze higher to the next resistance levels around the mid 60s. It might have some trouble, but ultimately I'd like to see it get up to 68 to 70 cents. But yeah, here just looking for the continuation of the squeeze. If it can keep holding up and there's enough shorts to squeeze out. So we'll see how demand shapes this play up tomorrow. But for now, that's all I got. Hopefully we get a nice bounce with VLON or KPRX. Really excited.